ما الذي يدفع رجل أعمال غربي نشأ في بيئة لا تهتم بالأديان أن يقف مذهولا أمام تحول ابنه المفاجئ؟ هل هو مجرد تغيير في المبادئ أم أن هناك سرا عميقا جذب هذا الشاب العصامي نحو نور الإسلام؟ في هذا الفيديو نستمع إلى شهادة غير عادية عن رحلة بحث وتجربة غيرت مفاهيم العائلة بالكامل.
I'll tell you this. I went in a shop and I'm not sure if they were Pakistan or whether they were Indian or Afghanistan. I wasn't sure. But I saw the daughter working behind the counter. And I saw the son, and I could tell they were related. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
And the son working on the other counter, and there are two counters. And the mother and father were stacking the shelves. And I can't help myself. I love business, but I love entrepreneurial people. But more than that, I love entrepreneurial families that are living it, breathing it, eating it, succeeding in it.
Yep.
And trust me, these weren't taught to be doing this. They were just doing it, and it was becoming natural. And the daughter was competing against the brother. And I stood there for nearly 15 minutes in the shop, to the point that the father walked over and said, "Are you going to buy anything?" And I said, "I just want to compliment you on," he said, "What on?" I said, "On your business." I said, "It's run like a fine-tuned machine." And I said, "I can see and he started laughing. And he said, "How did you notice?" We got chatting, and he knew who I was when we'd started talking. And he said, "Oh," he said, like, introduces me to his family. But to me, that gives me great pleasure in seeing. And that is what we're missing in the UK. That type of entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Being filtered in. So if we go back to Alfie, he said to me once, two things. He said to me, "You work harder than me." He said, "You've got more drive than me." He was about 10 or 12. I went, "Don't be silly." I said, "You're only saying that because you see me where I am now and you see yourself where you are." I said, "Success isn't a lights out, a lights on. That's called a knockout."
Yeah.
That's called a knockout. I said, "And you can't knock everybody out." I said, "Be prepared to do the 15 rounders when you need them. Be prepared to put the rounds in with the fights." I said, "Not every fight's going to be easy." I said, "And trust me, my blood runs through your veins. And I swear to you, every word of that has come true. He has worked his way. He's grafted his way." You know, when he decided to become a Muslim.
Oh, did I ask you on this as well? Yeah.
Was that something that I endorsed? Not particularly. Because I'm not concerned about faith, religion, creed, or colour. Because in all of those aspects, they mean nothing. They do mean nothing. What means a lot is the person behind it.
Of course.
They're a good person or a bad person. So I was only concerned of his reasoning for doing it and the people behind it. Make sense?
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Yeah.
And what I can tell you, he has really embraced it. And some of his business partners that are involved with it are extremely, and he may not say this, but are very high ranking. So the benefits have been from an emotional, personal part, which I think have helped him. And I think he's found something that he embraced, but he's also made it viable as well. That's important.
Do you think, like, you know, when children are almost like growing up around wealth, or they see wealth, not necessarily handed it to them, but they can see that, you know, we're well off in the family. Do you think it loses hunger within them? So, if we had to relate this to Alfie as he's growing up, you're successful. Do you think it affects his or knocks his hunger at all to succeed more than you?
I don't know. There's a lot of poor people out there that are still poor. There's a lot of rich people out there that are still rich. And there's a lot of rich people out there that became poor. I never met a poor man that became poor. He stayed poor.
He's always poor.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you, yeah.
For me, doesn't matter where you're from, it's the fire in the heart that's going to take you where you're going.
Yeah.
Can we be born in better places? Absolutely. Would I choose to be born somewhere else and being born as a gypsy on the side of the road? Or would I prefer to the other extreme to be Prince William? Hey, put me in the royal family every day.
Yeah. How did we're talking about expansion now, where we're from. How do you plan to expand your businesses? Parkons.
How do I plan?
How many have you got now?
119.
119.
119 parks, 16,000 residents.
16,000 residents across, that's just the UK, right?
Just the UK. And just think about this. This is not a data fanatic where people go 16,000. I've got 70,000 followers. I've got 1 million.
Yeah. There's nothing.
This is real people that live in real homes on our parks. They're like living on towns. So when I go there, does it make me very proud? It makes me immensely proud that a company like Wildcrest has just driven so hard forward.
Where do you want to take it to then? Because that's just the UK, and the UK is such a small, tiny island in comparison to the whole world.
For us, or for me, it's how far can I go?
Yeah.
So it will be global. We are going to America. We are going to go to Belgium and Holland. They're going to be the next places. We will go as far as we can. There's no reason not to. And it's not for the money anymore.
What's it for then? Just to help people and save people?
Because we're changing families' lives. I'm changing their lives. So I get to leave a small legacy.
How you change their lives, save their lives.
I like to think that we're not helping people, we're helping families.
Yeah.
In my own view.
Yeah.
You asked me if I can go back to Alfie.
Yeah.
I said there was 2 things and I gave you one. The other was, me and Alfie, and he was about 8 years old, we were walking down the Las Vegas Strip. Now, he was surrounded by wealth. It's been hard, but surrounded by it, because I'd go without food in the cupboard to get the next deal done.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we had money. We were walking down the strip and we looked at the casino, or he looked at the casino called Treasure Island.
Yep.
It's about the smallest casino along the strip there. He said, when I'm 20, I'm going to buy that casino. I said, good boy. I said, spot on. It's exactly what you should do. If you want it, you'll get it. You just have to be prepared to put the work in. That was it. 12 years later, or 10 years later, we're out there for the Tyson Fury fight. The same spot, within a few meters. We're walking down, he looks up. I swear I was thinking the same thing. Not the same thing, but I was thinking of the conversation that me and him had had.
Took place, yeah.
He went, do you remember Dad? He said, well, I looked up. He said, and I said, I'm going to buy that when I'm 20 years old. I went, I do. He went, God. He said, I couldn't dream how much work and effort it takes to get to something like that. He went, it's virtually impossible. I went, stop. Never say that. It is possible. Just because you've had it hard selling mats out the back of a van, I said, doesn't make it impossible. It makes it achievable, but it makes you value how hard it will be to get it.
إذا أعجبكم هذا الفيديو فلا تبخلوا علينا بالإعجاب والاشتراك في قناة فيرا ومشاركة المقطع ليصل هذا الصوت العقلاني إلى العالم أجمع.